So I've had these JBL Wave Beams almost for a year now, and I've just been sitting with it just to reminisce about how this sounded like, and I did quite enjoy these. I have used them on and off over the last year, and in fact I have handed it over to some friends and my wife to use for some walks or even while using them at home, and most people have liked them, but it's not for everybody. On an overall build front, it's put together very well. In fact, this along with the JBL Wave buds are built very similarly. In fact, that's another one of my favorites in this affordable price segment. It does have a matte finish, which I'm very happy that it has, because it's not glossy, and everybody is going for a glossy finish, so those cases scratch up in no amount of time. Maybe give it a few days and they already look a few months old, whereas this has held up pretty well. Now, no doubt it does have a few soft thumbnail scratches on it, but it has carried itself very well over the last year. Now, no doubt if you are a regular user of these earphones and the case, and you keep putting it in and out of your pocket, and it were to get scratched on your any metallic part of your jeans, or if you put it in a bag, it will show a lot more wear and tear. But overall, a matte finish does hold up much better in the long run. On an overall comfort front, it does have comfortable ear tips. It is a comfortable set of earphones to wear, but I do find it to be slightly on the uncomfortable side when it comes to sitting on my left ear. But it's not ever caused me any sense of real discomfort over slightly longer listening sessions. So overall, I'd say it is more on the comfortable side than anything else. But one thing to keep in mind is, if you do have smaller ears, this might feel a little large for you. Moving on to a feature front, this isn't exactly the most packed with features out there. Now, it is a lot like the JBL Wave buds. It is very simple to use. It does have its touch controls, which you can pause, play and skip tracks with. Now, you can go into the gesture controls within the app to change these around a bit. Now, most of the features are within the app, so it does have ambient aware as well. What it doesn't have is active noise cancelling, which I've noticed some people don't like to use at all. So if you are looking for a set of earphones that you don't want this feature at all, this is one of the options out there, because there is no active noise cancelling option, of course. And when it comes to the passive isolation, if you select the correct ear tip for your ear, it does isolate reasonably well, with some sounds, well, they do bleed in, of course, but largely it does isolate pretty well. The app also does have other features like Find My Buds, which is quite convenient. So if you ever do lose your earphones within some cushions or under a sofa, and it is within Bluetooth range, you can ping it, so it will start squawking or beeping, so you can find where the ear tip is. Now, coming back to the active noise cancelling, well, it doesn't have the active noise cancelling, but it does have microphones which will help with environmental noise cancelling. So if you do plan on taking any phone calls or making them, and you want to know exactly how your overall tonal quality will be carried over to your recipient in a busy environment, there really is only one way to find out. So I'm calling you from the usual busy street. I do all of my call tests from, just to give you a sense of the amount of noise that these earphones are going to be battling when it comes to environmental noise cancelling. Now, there are a whole bunch of two-wheelers, four-wheelers. You will get a bunch of trucks and school buses here. Now, you can expect the occasional pressure horn. And of course, over my left shoulder, there is some construction work going on as well. Now, all this time I have been playing over the camera microphone, so it can capture this environment around me. And I'll switch over to the JBL Wave Beam microphone right about now. So this total quality you hear coming off my voice is what will carry over to your recipient. So you are the best judge to see whether or not you want this kind of quality to carry over to your recipient. And usually what I do with a lot of earphones is toggle through the different modes they have in my in-depth review. So if you do want to see how this performs entirely when it comes to the in-depth review, I will leave the in-depth review down below in the description, because this does have something called voice aware. So the voice aware feature usually doesn't affect the recipient too much, because when you toggle between the voice aware low, medium and high, it governs how much of your own voice you can hear coming back to you, because a lot of people don't like it when they can't hear their voice from around them. So this does have that option. It's nice to see that JBL has incorporated something like this, especially when it comes to voice calls. So give that demo a look in my in-depth review if you'd like to. And of course, this has been the demo for the JBL Wave Beam, and I do hope that this demo has given you a better understanding about these earphones. And of course, I will see you back in the studio. Coming to the battery life of these, well, I'd say it's pretty good even after all this time, because I myself am not a particularly heavy user, well, for various reasons, but I usually don't go over 2.5 or 3 hours of usage in one straight shot, because I do like my ears to breathe. So if ever I feel that I've been wearing earphones for too long, I do take them off. And more often than not, this has taken me well beyond that with enough percentage to carry me for the rest of the day. So I'd say its battery has held up reasonably well. If you are a power user who wants something that is going to last more than 7 or 8 hours, I don't think this will do that when it comes to being 1 year old or over a year old, because as we all know, smaller batteries do deteriorate over time, and there's no exception here. There might be cases where this lasts just 8 months. There might be cases where it lasts 1.5 or 2 years. There's no knowing really. But if by any chance you do feel that your earphones are losing a lot of charge before the warranty is over, consider going to the service center and having them replaced before the warranty does run out. And coming to the most important factor about any earphones in particular, the sound. I was very impressed with this from day one. In fact, I've always liked this because it's not been very prominent or heavy in the bass. A lot of earphones these days are tuned to be extremely bass eccentric. A lot of people do like heavy bass, but this set of earphones is not tuned that way. It's not for the person who wants exaggerated or heavy bass. Straight out of the box, it's very easy on the bass. It's a very balanced, or should I say, it's a very flat response straight out of the box. The advantages of this is its detail and imaging is surprisingly good for a set of wireless earphones at this price point. It is surprisingly well detailed despite only supporting SBC and AAC codecs. So I do like its detail recovery. Its highs are crisp enough and well detailed enough to enjoy without getting shrill, and the mid-range is also smooth enough to enjoy and zone in onto any lyrics or in general any instrumentation in your music. So overall on a sound front, I say they've tuned this terrifically well. Now, this does change its personality, however, when you go into the equalizer and change between the various presets, and of course you can customize it as well. And if you want to know how to customize presets for your earphones, I will leave that in a thumbnail somewhere up here. I have made a video on how to dial in your earphones to sound a little bit better than they do straight out of the box. So all in all, this set of earphones, I'd say it's very capable, but at the same time you need to keep in mind that if you are a bass enthusiast, these are not for you. It's more for the person who wants a little more detail, a little more clarity, a little more shimmer in the highs, and a little more overall detail in his music. It's not all about that bass. I personally really like the way it sounds. To me, I've always liked more detail in my music than anything else. So anyway, it's overall a very nice sounding set of earphones, but not for the bass enthusiast. And I'd say overall, even after all this time, I would recommend it, and I would still say it is value for money. So at the time of recording this video, these do have a maximum retail price of 4,999, and honestly, they are built to feel like they're worth that much. But they have a selling price of 3,489 rupees. So I'd say at that price, honestly, if you're looking for something that doesn't have active noise cancelling, you want a little more detail and clarity in your music, you want something that's just plug and play and it works for your commutes to office and back, or just to browse YouTube or apps online, this is a terrific little set of earphones. It's obviously not hi-fi levels of audio quality because also of the codecs it supports, but overall it is a very enjoyable little set of earphones. And the one other thing to keep in mind is if your ears are a bit on the smaller side, these might feel a little large for you. So that's something to remember. So there you have it. I hope you found this video helpful and informative, and I do hope that I've helped you make some sort of purchase decision. If you would like to help support the channel, I'm sure you know exactly how to. But of course, thank you for tuning to Paul's POV for some sound advice.